All right, we are on to episode 2, Witches Before Wizards. Now, before we really get into what this show is, I think this episode gives a good demonstration of what this show isn't. So, Brock, what are some of your observations so far?
Um, not your typical show that I want to put into. It is not. Well, oh God, how do I want to say this? It doesn't do what I expect it to do at certain points. Like I could tell how an episode is going to go, but I don't know how the heck it's going to get there. It is not typical, but again, it is very mature, which is odd to say for the animation style you're obviously getting. It's weird watching this because every single time I look into the chat, I'm always just like, oh, they foreshadowed that early. Oh, they foreshadowed that early. I'm like, it's weird to be on this end of it because this is the first one where everyone knows and I don't.
I like it here.
It's fun being on the other side.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
Now I know what you feel like, Ty.
Yeah, because it's like the only other time we did this where no one knew, or like I didn't know, no one else knew, because it was when we were doing Violet Evergarden.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's not going to give you what you want right away. It's also something that I like. So yeah, so my observations so far, I guess.
Yeah, basically that's kind of the moral of this episode, that what they're not going to do is they're not going the traditional fantasy route of, the chosen one or anything about destiny. At least not yet. There will be certain things that come up later, but for now, Misao, how do you feel revisiting Adagast?
I was laughing as if I've watched the episode for the first time. Like, I remember certain parts. I was like, "Oh my god, this is episode where Lacey, like the fantasy guy, and she's like, oh my, like fangirling over."
Hey, Misao, say the Final Fantasy thing that you want to say before I ask you about Final Fantasy. You're not going to do the advertisement?
Because it's an updated meme!
All right.
You can now play their clearly acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14 online free all the way up to Stormblood.
The fact that they aren't paying her at this point is wild.
I'm surprised they're not paying me.
Anyway, the thing I wanted to say with that point is because you mentioned Shirtless Boy, Neverath Blade Strife. That is, we're not going to call him Cloud Strife, but he's Cloud Strife.
There'll be more little references Cloud and later episodes.
He's not the only reference, and I don't think this got done intentionally. But I had a thing about King that was bugging me. I'm like, I can't put my finger on it, but he feels like something, and I can't explain it. And it finally hit me in this episode. He is if you made Cubone into a Grimm from Ruby.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Dana Terrace has gone on record saying she is a big Pokemon fan.
I can tell. But yeah, it's great.
Something else you'll notice about this show, and specifically the metropolitan city of Bonesboro, where Ida does a lot of her business, there's a lot of scams in this place.
You don't say.
My favorite line still is the what like the gag about snake oil.
Mm-hmm. Hey, nobody wants an unoiled snake. Take that how you want.
Yeah. the dialogue in here is just
So good.
so sharp.
It's very, very good. My favorite line, and probably anything I've watched in a while, comes later. But just my brain always does everything with Gurren, so I'm not going to go there right away. But the wizard hat is a old traffic cone.
I love that.
Everything is just very much, this is a wizard's world, but it isn't, and you're not going to get that. I like right away that she's making it more into a thing than what it is at all times, which is fantastic.
Yeah, something that I like about Luz being such a gigantic nerd is that because she's already kind of genre savvy, it cuts time with like at least some exposition. There are things about the world that she's not familiar with, but she's enough of a nerd that she can kind of get the gist of what's going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of reminds me to a lesser extent of Fry from Futurama, in that, like, you know, she's more familiar with the world she happens to be inhabiting in than like anyone else in her shoes.
Yeah.
And I can't think of what the main guy's name is at this point. But it reminds me of the otaku that gets sent through the gate in Gate. I can't think of his name because he was an anime fan, and then he got sent over to. Either of you seen Gate?
I don't think so.
Well, I can't highly recommend it enough. It is about a gate that opens up in the middle of Japan and sends like dragons and other ethereal creatures through. And then the Japanese army quarantines it, and a guy who was at a convention hoping to meet a mangaka writer that he was a fan of, who also happens to be in the army, helps them stop it, and then gets sent through with a bunch of people to the other side of the gate where there's like elf people, dragons, and all of this other stuff, and he's just losing his mind because it's all of anime come to life, but it's incredibly well written, and I can't recommend it enough. If you don't watch it by the time it's my time around to pick, I might suggest it because it's super well done. It is hilarious.
Nice.
Yeah.
But there's one line in particular for this episode that I think is probably the most important. It's what Ida says at the end, where she says, you know, everyone wants to believe they're chosen, but if we keep waiting around for a prophecy, we'll just die waiting.
Yeah, that was my favorite line in the entire episode.
Yeah.
And at the time that I saw this for the first time, that was like, this was the episode that really confirmed, oh, so this is going to be something special, because what you'll notice in later episodes is even though initially Luz wanted to stay in this world to live out all of her fantasies, she gets a lot of real life lessons in this place.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Yeah, it's good so far. I'm liking, like I said, that you get the obvious few episodes where it's like, you get the swindler that makes her think she's special. You get the very basic setup episodes, but it is still very well done. Don't get me wrong, but every show has to have these. And yeah, it's, I want to say, lore establishing and setting establishing type of stuff.
Yeah, it's setting the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The first season, especially the first half, doesn't really get too deep into the narrative yet. They really want you to, you know, acquaint yourself with the characters
and the world building.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. This episode doesn't really have a lot of of characters to bounce off of.
No, I can also mention that I can pretty much assume I'm going to love Hootie from the 2 seconds that I got them.
Yes, Hootie is the best.
Hootie is Hootie. You'll understand why as we go on.
If you solve my riddle within a week, I swear to God, okay, they went over there.
And then, of course, King is just the best.
King is just King.
King, I feel like later on you'll understand why King is like my spirit animal.
I understand why he is already. He takes naps at all times. For anyone that knows how we record. Sorry, I fell asleep.
That was like a one-time incident.
You are so full of shit one time. If I went back in both of the Ruby chats and Fresh Takes chats, I would have you busted so bad on that lie.
In my defense, time zones go blank.
It's an hour! How are you confused?
I'm a blonde. What did you expect? I get bullied by him.
Yeah, bullied. He tells me the truth very loudly. It's not okay.
Brother.
If anyone bullies anyone, it's you towards me. Because you act like I'm 90 when I'm 32.
It's okay, Grandpa. It's okay.
For the record, we do not condone ageism in this space.
We don't, unless it's making fun of children.
I hate how that is valid.
Just saying. God.
Anyway, any other fun visual gags that you want to point out, like the one with the centaur guy with his face with his face on his chest.
Nipples. I was just like, there's a reason they're not showing his face, and I don't know what it is yet. And I'm like, okay. Who has 4 legs? It's all and wants to buy a potion. This guy. My eyes are down. Oh! Good Lord. No, it's good. They very much make a gag out of everything.
They do.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It is cool. And the owl house itself is great because you never know what you're going to get out of it. You just have the cast of creatures that are around it. It's not, but to the fullest extent of why I really liked Beetleborgs. When I was growing up, because like Flabber and the other guys that were always around, you just had stupid antics going on in the background that you had to have while you were waiting for the plot to go, and then you just left.
I also love how this show is not afraid to get into the more macabre. And maybe after this recording, I'll show you some of Dana's other like sketches, because outside of this show, her art style is a lot more not for children.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like this is way more toned down compared to her.
Even the concept art for the characters before, you can kind of tell that I want to get more on the darker side per se.
Gotcha. Cool. I'll definitely want to take a look at that.
But yeah, that's unless you guys have anything else to add, this is the second episode. Misao, how you feeling in this rewatch?
I'm like, oh wow, like all the hidden details and everything that like no one knew. I'm like, wow, everything's adding up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we also got the opening.
Oh yeah,
the opening was very good. I was expecting lyrics to kick in at some point, but they never did. But that's okay.
No, we don't get lyrics.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of better without them.
Yeah.
No, it was very good.
The next episode, I'm not going to give everything away, but just a little bit of a tease. We have our own version of Hogwarts.
Oh boy, I was kind of waiting on that.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll see what I mean later. But until next time, Misao, where can everyone find you online?
You could find me on Twitter. I keep 11028. Well, it's not Twitter anymore. It's called, I don't know. Just roll with the punches here.
It looks like I'm going into a porn site every time I click on it. Like,
Oh,
why?
It went up because it's a Kingdom Hearts reference.
Hopefully,
Oh,
Easing
site
it to
goes
X.
the way
It's
of
one Kingdom Hearts
Classico.
reference.
Why is his name Roxas? Because it's Sora backwards with an X in the middle. Because I'm
Because
edgy.
Organization 13 and the Keyblade. That spells with an X to be
Ah.
fancy.
Ah!
I love it here.
No, I hate it.
Love it
Anyway, Brock, where can everyone find you?
Not caring about Kingdom Hearts and Organoid Zero on Twitch and YouTube.
And you guys can find me on insert social media here at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterbox.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and that place at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on YouTube, on Podchaser, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You can escape, so do we. And until next time, peace out.
See ya.